It's not everyone who can be the granddaughter of the 4th and 7th Prime Minister of Malaysia, but it's certainly everyone who can be the victim of crazed Christmas extremists, and that exactly is the tale of Ally Mukhriz. Watch this. That is a pretty fire dance, I'm not gonna lie. Good, clean Christmas fun, hanging out with the brothers and the sisters, and Jay chillin' as you enjoy the best time of the year. But that is not what the amar, makruf, mungkar bros think. The pattern is always the same. Somebody who is a public figure of any sort has some sort of fun, enjoys themselves at Christmas, and the next thing you know, you have a couple of people just coming in and trying to judge these people. It's probably going to be some random 15-year-old who thinks that they know every single thing about the religion to the point that they can just go out there and insult a person saying, no, it's for your own good, while trying to gain clout. It happened to our Prime Minister and our Yang di-Pertuan Agong over freaking asam pedas for crying out loud. It happened to Yuna at the behest of a mob of people who have nothing to do with her, even when she's not even living in Malaysia. Literally so bad to the point that she says, if you don't like me, just unfollow me. And people start saying that she is arrogant. It happened to the most diverse Christmas party in the entirety of Malaysian history as a bunch of people gaslight the Malaysian consciousness. As you will come to see, that is basically the entirety of their tactic. It is what they do 24/7. And now it is happening to Cucu Atok, an SG4 advisor whose best friend political party is casually going out there protesting Christmas, wrecking diversity, and all the many wonderful things that they have brought to Malaysia. If this sounds wild to you, it absolutely is. Because meanwhile, as they're protesting about Christmas and Najib, and pretty much any politically opportunistic thing that they're going to protest about, my question is, are they going to protest about Mahathir's granddaughter? I mean, is that the plan? Like, protests just for your own personal benefit so you can score political points or social media clout? Maybe both. For a bunch of judgmental people, this is what happens in Malaysia every day. If you're facilitating this kind of behavior, then congratulations, you are a major contributor to the toxicity that is defining the entirety of Malaysia out there. Now, I'm not saying that people shouldn't point out things, by no means, but in Malaysia, it's very obvious that it is a strategy of control brought forth by people who just want to gaslight people when in reality it has nothing to do with them. They are really not qualified, and not in the sense of social status, but in terms of personality, in terms of even thinking or otherwise, to make the criticism. But society completely buys it because we have this idea that David needs to criticize Goliath in a sense of weird and twisted justice that makes it so everybody can become David and anyone at all can be made into a Goliath just because the mass wants it to be so. Some people will counter and say, do you know that they're only doing this out of love? They're absolutely doing it for your own good and for the good of everybody around them. Why don't you just give them a chance? How can you criticize them? If you criticize them, then you are the problem. But the ironic thing is, you know who this never happens to? This never happens to the penunggang agama, the religious writers, the people who justify racism and who are going out there and saying you need to all step in line but are somehow completely silent when people are mocking their fellow Malaysians and in fact going out there, the same people saying you are a pendatang. So you tell me it's about love? I don't believe you. Our Malaysian authorities gonna sit back, relax, as cancel culture becomes 24/7 and people with way too much time and not enough money come out to bully the entire country into submission just because they don't like Christmas. It's pretty much a slippery slope because when you start telling all these people yang betul itu betul, yang salah itu salah, you start missing out the very real ways that you can indeed be betul itu betul without listening to the standpoints of a couple of terpaling idiots who think that they can control the lives of every single person in Malaysia. By the way, this has nothing to do with status. Yes, A lot of the people I mentioned are extremely powerful, successful, T0.01%, whatever, it doesn't matter. I mean, come on. It's not a matter of their status. The fact is, their lives and our lives, by extension, are made horrible, and the environment as well, by a whole bunch of penunggangs who want to target any successful figure that they can see just for the sake of clout. We want to pretend that it's not the case, but no, it absolutely is. I don't know what kind of Malaysia it is that we are living in at this point, where even a random person can just go out there and do this sort of thing and receive the support of the masses. Like, how are we educating our kids to the point where this has somehow become acceptable? And Malaysia not only does not chastise this as a whole, but people out there are actually supporting this. Because it is the kind of thing that can only get worse, where people feed on the egos that they develop from throwing shade on all these people, gain supporters, and keep on doing it over and over again, no matter who it is in the society. If you do not stop this, or at least deal with this in some productive way, you are sowing the seeds for destruction of our entire society. My actual Muslim friends have migrated overseas because they want to escape this kind of environment. I have no idea whether the people who are doing this realize that they are making Malaysia into a literal hell upon earth, or how people feel when they have to literally run away, skedaddle, delete comments, hide their faces, but it sure is not pretty. So if you have the power, please do something. And if you are one of those people out there who is tempted to make a comment, please, for the love of God, hold yourself back, look at yourself for just one moment, and as you are typing that comment, delete it. That's going to be best for you, for me, and the entire universe. So please, for the love of God, stop making Malaysia into a literal hellhole. Instead, watch this video next.